Let's take a look at what the weather is all about in the city of Lagos. It's been raining cats and dogs since yesterday, and today it's gone back to what it was on match day 1. The heat is back again. A maximum temperature of 30 degrees and a wind speed of 10 kilometers per hour. It looks like it might rain again much later this afternoon. It might be a good thing for the footballers. It might not be. But whatever the case, we are going to witness another day of the very best of football, courtesy of the best 6 teams in the land. And it's all happening here live in the city of Lagos, right here in Nigeria. My name is Charles Anazudo. Welcome once again. And after 4 match days, it's 16 goals scored so far. So if you do the mathematics, that ultimately tells you it's 4 goals on each match day, which really hasn't been good, I must admit. But then again, my co-anchor for today might have a different mindset. It's none other than Mike Mayaki. Mike, good to have you back again.
Great to be here, Charles. In a competition where, few goals have been scored, defenses have been mean. We've not really seen many goals. Hopefully that might change today because goals is the name of the game.
What are your expectations for today, especially as it concerns BENDEL Insurance? I mean, today is a day in which they have to win again.
They do really have to win because it's not just enough to be undefeated for 21 matches without achieving anything at the end of the day. Something seemed to tell me that perhaps insurance peaked so soon. They were scoring goals in torrents way before the league, but ever since then, I can't recall insurance ever scoring 3 goals in a game. I believe what has propelled them so far happens to be the meanness in their defense. Amas Obasogi is very good defensively. And when you get the likes of Benjamin Tanimu, Miloju, and Enabulele as your wing backs, you are somewhat covered. If they were conceding goals in torrent, insurance would have been nowhere. So for me, that's been their keeping grace. The fact that they've not been conceding goals in torrent, but they've been poor offensively.
All right, let's take a look at match day results, just to confirm for you what it's been like as far as the Super 6 is concerned. For match day 3, BENDEL Insurance and Enyimba played out a draw. 1-1 it ended after 90 minutes. Same scoreline was prevalent in the game involving Remo Stars and Sunshine Stars, and yet another draw when Lobi and Rivers United took to the pitch. This time, no goals scored on game 3 of match day 3. We're hoping that things will be different on match day 4, knowing full well that these teams, especially Insurance, need to get a win today. But then again, they are taking on the reigning champions of the NPFL. Definitely not an easy task, Mike.
Yeah, playing Rivers United is the easiest of tasks. This is a very experienced team, a team that has really played football on the continent this season, going as far as, after the group stage of the CAF Confederations Cup. The fact that they have a very large squad has done it for them. However, fatigue is beginning to set in. I will not be surprised today if their hitman, Ihima Wangwa, does not get to play. He's played so many matches, and his body has taken a lot of pains and a lot of knocks. So both teams today might not play with their main strikers in a match that they really need to win, especially Insurance. I don't really envy Insurance. Sharks have... Did I say Sharks? Rivers United have a very good team. Were not for their goalkeeper, who perhaps have been off form for a while, talking about Sochima Victor. The 2 goals he conceded against Remo comes to mind. A normal Victor Sochima wouldn't have been beaten by those goals. But then it does happen in football. Hopefully, he'll get that behind him today and come back to his normal self against an Insurance team that seemed to have problems scoring goals. Last time, they had to defend on a midfielder, talking about Divine Nwachukwu to come and do the scoring for them.
Well, we took a big sneak peek at the starting 11 for the side, and Enyimba Wangwa is not going to be playing today. Too many match days, to be honest, as far as these players are concerned, and it's majorly all about staying match fit and using the players to their maximum output. Let's take a look at what happened on match day 3, and that's talking about the first game, Insurance up against Enyimba. And Mike, talk us through this one. Quite a few chances in between, and this one here should have done better with that situation.
Should have done better, but then on second view, you discussed that Olorun Loke was sort of lucky. That's Enyimba's goalkeeper because the player in question was offside, but it was a golden chance for him just to have tapped the ball into the net. This is a better view. He was in an offside position, but that is not an excuse for not burying the ball inside the net. If he weren't in an offside position, is this the excuse he would have given? That's how not to be prolific. That's Enabulele now with the pull out, and Enabulele pulls this out. It was booted out. Now, Enyimba has a goal. Now look how open Insurance were. They allowed everybody to go. And the bounce of the ball came luckily for them. He hit somebody and came to Sadiq Abubakar. Sadiq saw the angle, discovered that goalkeeper Amas Obasogie wasn't on his line. He spun the ball around. Brilliant football there from Sadiq Abdullahi. Sweet left foot, a coach's delight. Amas Obasogie is not happy with himself. If you're on the line, a ball he could easily have pushed. But this speaks much about Insurance. They went all out, forgetting, to leave one or two people at the back, leaving themselves all open and the goalkeeper way away from his line. It does happen. And hopefully they seem to have learned from their lessons. Soon after this goal, most of their defenders, talking about Tanimu in central defense, Emiloju and Inabulele, were not always overlapping.
Absolutely great counter-attacking football by Enyimba, and that definitely has to go down as maybe even the goal of the championship. And for BENDEL Insurance, they keep on missing those chances, and the manager has complained and hoping for a better outing a lot later this afternoon, because, it's something you need to go back in the dressing room and speak to your players about. Calm down in front of the goal yard area, and that goal will definitely come as we take a look at the equalizing goal by Insurance.
That was it. It was a twice taken free kick, and Dele Olorunleke was not happy with his defenders. He felt he was exposed. Finally, the ball was taken, spun across, beat everybody, went to the other side and spun it. Incidentally, the smallest man on the pitch, smallest attacker, Divine Nwachukwu, former under 17 international, was the person who got his first head. The Enyimba central defenders will not be happy with themselves. How on earth could you have allowed the smallest man to nip in ahead of you and bury that ball?
It's what we refer to as schoolboy defending, because, and Enyimba do have a problem. It's all about game management, concentration, because they seem to just fall like a pack of cards in terms of their defending and letting in goals that they shouldn't be.
Yeah, especially later on in games, they are good at taking the lead. In the league, about 5 or 6 matches, if you go through their history, you realize what they did. That against Plateau United during the regular abridged season comes to mind. How could you be leading people 2-0 up with a few minutes to go and you suddenly go to sleep? It's criminal, not allowed. Here again, they were punished by BENDEL Insurance, who saw that opportunity and came back to equalize. Enyimba never did get an opportunity to get a winning goal on the day.
Let's take a look at the second game of Matchday 3, Remo Sunshine Stars and Remo, a team that quite a number of people here at the Super 6 have largely fallen in love with, especially with their style of play, which is, a delight to watch, to be honest.
A delight to watch. They are a team full of a lot of young men, young rookies in front. But when it comes to defense, they've got Unduka Jr., the captain, and they signed former Enyimba and Rivers United defender. That's the veteran who just came from Saudi Arabia. Who is very experienced, and they are sort of emboldened the defense. And when you got arguably one of the best defenders in the league, talking of Bankole, there we see Anakwe famously scored against Enyimba. Now that's Bankole being happy that his attackers are doing the business for them. I simply do not know. But you see, this shows that Remo have been doing this in training. Most of the Sunshine defenders entered him to boot the ball, to hit the ball straight at the defenders. Instead, he squared the ball sideward, and it was squared again that are always running. And whenever they run, expect things to happen. A two-pronged attack, they do possess. So defenders always are a handful. They're a handful for whatever defense they get to face. And in this case, it really wasn't easy, for the Sunshine defenders. But then, Sunshine bottled all of that, and what about this? Gang stole in front of the defenders and made sure he was quickest to that ball. To their surprise, he stole in front of them. And whatever they were thinking, Edith Agoye, very, very happy that his underdogs, so to say, have done the magic here. If you're naming star names, you wouldn't get many of them in Sunshine. Incidentally, a team that was supposedly to be disbanded last season because they were pretty poor in the league. But then Edith came in from 3SC when he was kicked out. He came here, rejuvenated the boys, and against all odds, earned a place in the Super 6. And they've not been underdogs like a lot of people thought they were. Apart from the first match they lost, they've earned 2 draws so far in this Super 6. That's Sunshine Stars.
Well, it's majorly about their physical play, and that's exactly what they used against Remo Stars, and as a result of that, got the equalizer in that particular game, something that is missing in the Remo team. Very full of expression on the pitch of play, but lacking in physicality, which is something that the coach needs to take a good look at as far as this Super 6 is concerned, and especially if they do get to play as far as continental football is concerned. Last game of the day, this one absolutely goalless, which is not what we want to see. Lobi Stars against Rivers United. And when you talk about Lobi Stars, Mike, the name Atule is that's one player that really has stolen my heart. And I love to watch the young man play football.
To say he's stolen your heart perhaps would have been an understatement if you know the mental condition this boy is playing under. He lost his dad a few days back. Now, many players who are not physically and mentally tough wouldn't have come for this competition. But he left all of that behind, decided to show up and play the Super Six so that after this competition, he'll go back home and they'll talk about burying his dad. What about that for commitment? Nobody on the pitch would believe that that energetic young man is going through such trauma at this moment. For me, that has increased the respect for this kid, who last season did not ring many bells when he was at Katsina United. So this season, he just come in, scored a lot of goals, and giving some assists. So far, he's been awesome in this team, alongside the rookie, Kumangasu, who was picked while the team was playing local government teams in the state. And for the first time, little Kumangasu, in jersey number 8, has come among the big boys. That speaks a lot about what Dominic Ayofa is all about. Picking young boys from the streets and exposing them and letting them do their thing, even against many odds.
All right, let's remind you what the table looks like as far as the championships playoffs is concerned. Take a look at who's leading the line and the team that needs a lot more work to be done. And it's AIMA International, followed closely by Rivers United, Remo Stars, Insurance, Sunshine, and of course Lobi Stars. It's absolutely abysmal, to be honest, as far as those two bottom teams are concerned, if not the bottom three as well. As far as Rivers United are concerned, they do know exactly what needs to be done. Their football, not the very best of the lot, but it's majorly about getting results, and that's exactly what their hallmark is. And they definitely playing like true champions. Let's take our first break here as we build up to the start of the very first game of Day 4 right here at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in the city of Lagos. The TV is blurry.
I've been at the cable or whatever. It's blurry. They come out. I'm not going to my ear. But this is a lot better than that one we do for Sony. It's a lot better. Apart from the SC, yeah, your people, who they in charge of cable? See how this TV be. Mr. Rakus, who they in charge of the cable? See how this TV be. You know, I see rain before. Maybe this person.
TV.
See, it's a lot better now. came with this kind of thing.
So you saw pictures of the players going through their paces in preparation for the first game of Matchday 4. Rivers United, champions of the NPFL, an abridged season against BENDEL Insurance, yet to lose a game in regular season, yet to lose a game in the Super 6. Now the question is, will they be under pressure to make sure that they get their first win right here at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena? Mike, what do you think will be going through the minds of the coaching crew, the players? What do you think?
Some pressure on Insurance, considering the way they spent past minutes to top the league in their group during the early stages of the league. A lot of people had given them the chance to be the team that will come out tops. However, they've been struggling ever since then. I gather there's some tension in the team. That's why Imade of late has not been razor sharp. It's not the Imade we knew in time past. However, that's also he's lost everything. It's just a matter of a dip in confidence. All he needs to do is just have a few people to talk to him. I gather the team has got a psychologist, and the psychologist has indeed spoken with him. I spoke with one of the assistant coaches of the team. What is wrong with Imade? He says, no problem. It's one of those things that Imade will come back to his true himself. And when Imade comes back to his true self, he's usually awesome.
All right, earlier on, before the game kicks off, we did catch up with coaches of both teams. That's talking about Stanley Aguma for Rivers United and Monday Odigie for BENDEL Insurance. We thought to know from them what their expectations from today's game will be all about. And this was their response. Coach, you're almost there. I'm sure you can taste, once again, continental duties. How exactly are you getting ready for this particular fixture?
Yeah, we are ready because it's a very important match for us. It's a crucial match. You know, we have only won one game, all the other ones draw. So we are expecting to win today's game because we know that the 3 points will give us a very good leap and it's going to help us our ambition to win the trophy and get to the continental ticket. So we are ready for the game.
Now, your opponents today are pretty difficult to break down, even though they haven't won a game. But ultimately, do you think this one will be as difficult as it has been for other club sides?
Yeah, we know they are a very strong side. They have maintained unbeaten for a very long time. But anything can start. Anything can start in a very particular day. Today we have opportunity to play them, and you know they're starting to a victory. So we are not looking at their record, but we'll give our best to see what we can get in the game. But I'm sure that we are ready. We are prepared to win the game.
What matters to you right now, Coach? Is it retaining the trophy as champions of the NPFL or just making sure that you get a spot as far as continental football is concerned?
Now, what matters to us is to retain the trophy. Trophy is very, very important, and I know if we retain the trophy, automatically we'll get to the continent. So to get to the trophy, that is the most important thing.
Coach, you're yet to win a game in the Super 6, and you face a formidable opponent today in the reigning champions, Rivers United. How do you hope to prosecute this game?
As we've gone about every other game we've had to play, come to the game with positive mindset and hope that at the end we're able to get our objective.
Goal scoring seems to have been a major problem for your side because when you look at the number of goals that you've scored, it's not exactly very favorable.
Well, like I said, we come into the game with a positive mindset. When the chances comes and if they don't take it, if our players can't take it, then that is why it goes the way it has been going. But obviously, playing good enough to create chances to me, as well as taking the chances is what's most important. So I think, like we said, we keep trying to do better. We hope today when we make the chances, we try and convert them to goals. That's it.
What's your opinion on the level of officiating? Some have suggested maybe that there is something that you possibly don't like.
Well, like I said, I'm not a coach who talk about officiating. A lot of things are being done worldwide to help officiating. No man is perfect. You have aids, you have communication gadgets. We still can't find them here, so I don't want to talk about communication because a lot of things, like I said, it's not the coach's duty to talk about officiating. Well, prepare for all kind of situations you meet, and we hope that we get our acts right in the game and score a goal and try not to make them score a goal against. So officiating to me is not for me to worry about.
Well, the supporters have turned out in appreciable numbers here at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena. It's a work day, yeah, in the city of Lagos. So you might have a spattering of faithfuls in terms of lovers of football turning out here en masse. But a lot later in the evening, I can assure you that these stands will be filled as it has been for every match day. But as far as putting Michael Anchor in the hot seat, now is the time, Mike. Do you foresee another draw?
Well, chances are that it could be. Out of the 9 matches played so far, 7 have ended in draws. So why should I expect a win so soon? The fact that the 2 main strikers for both teams are not starting the game is another pointer that perhaps because of fatigue, another draw is what we might witness. So let me opt for that feeling of another draw here again today.
In terms of how the teams will play out, you think Rivers United will go gung-ho or sit back, taking the pressure and maybe look for a counter-attacking situation?
Rather, I think it's Insurance that will go gung-ho because Insurance needs it more than Rivers United. Rivers are on 5 points. Insurance are just on 3. Of what use is playing 21 matches unbeaten and you did not qualify for the continent, or you didn't end up winning the league? What if you eventually end up losing the Federation Cup final? So they will need to go gung-ho. That's my opinion, Insurance.
Okay, so that's how we round off our build-up to the first game of the day. We are going to take our first break. When we come back, I'll take you straight to our team of commentators, Timi Oweye, and of course, Ralph Chidozie George on Pidgin, and of course, English commentary as well, right after this.
Sports Commission, we thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to the thousands in the stadium and to the millions at home watching on pay-per-view, this is a gathering of the immortals. This is a congregation of all stars. This is where all the stars align. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Rivers United. Something must give today. It's that simple. A winner must emerge today. For the hopes of any of these two teams to be very well certain, we must have a winner. Football must win and football must be played. So special shout out to the two teams. Please, guys, I've not asked for any favor since I've been doing this thing from you guys. I need one favor. I need you to clap for all the footballers, for all the team, all the footballers. Just clap for them. Just clap for the footballers. Not their guys, the footballers. Because naturally it is 72 hours to recover from a football game. And these boys are here every other time. So we need to appreciate them. Well done, footballers. Thank you for fighting like Trojans. And we go again today. I wish the very best to Rivers United. I wish the very best to BENDEL Insurance. I'm here for good football for Nigeria. Special shout out to Owu Sports for clothing me today, giving me a Kwara United jersey. And at some point today, we'll be having Mohbad, one of Nigeria's finest musicians on the block at the moment, come perform. And then, of course, I will be switching things up to Alta Solo very shortly. We're counting down to the 2 p.m. countdown. The 2 p.m. kickoff time, even as the VIPs are getting on their seats and getting ready. Special shout out to Mr. Shola Yepekon, the
Shukran. Welcome to you wherever you are watching from across the world. Welcome to day 4 of the Nigeria Premier Football League Championship playoffs taking place at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena here in Lagos. Today, for the very first time, the respective group winners meet in a game of huge significance and bragging rights for all involved. It's the current champions Rivers United up against the Invincibles, the unbroken 26-game unbeaten BENDEL Insurance Football Club. The temperature is about 30 degrees Celsius with speed traveling distance about 10 kilometers per hour. It's a bit cloudy with some sprinkles of sunshine. The players, as always, walking off the dugouts, led by the match officials, know for one side a victory takes them to a position that could see them compete for the title. They are the side in blue. For the team in yellow, a victory would also put them in position for potential first title since the 1970s. This is a tournament involving the 6 best teams in the land, and a season unanimously agreed by major stakeholders to be played in an abridged format, one which seems pretty uncommon, but it's certainly not a first. 10 teams grouped in A and B, with the top 3 from both groups advancing to what we have ongoing as the championship playoffs. Certainly the overall winner will emerge after the final match day. Here's the setup for the defending champions Rivers United, tutored by Stanley Aguma. It's a surprising setup because they are without top striker Yima Wangwa, but in comes Luke Madadefemi. They still do have the intelligence of the fullback Kezie and Chinebu Beduru, not leaving out the efficient midfielder in Maurice Chukwu. Abdul Malik Madake, the referee for this fixture, supported by the men on your screens. They'll be hoping to impress. At the face of the defending champions of the Nigerian Premier Football League. It feels odd not seeing Yuma part of that setup, but they do have a solid opposition. BENDEL Insurance, who are also without the top striker, who's on the bench with the number 22 shirt, Imadiel Salenkwe. But they do have Ada Stevens, so much on his shoulders. The man who scored their goals in the championship play of the Vino Wachiko retains his position. He would be supported in midfield by Soja Stevens, goalkeeper who's played every minute this season. Amas Obasoje keeps his shirt in goal. Well, every team that has reached this stage, regardless of championship reputation, has earned their place, a position which didn't come on a silver platter, but earned a true result and perseverance. The fans, as always, present to enjoy a great game of football, regardless of the divide. They are settled in as the manager for the unbeaten team. Monday Udige, head coach of BENDEL Insurance, was at the helms when the Vipers gained promotion to the NPFL in 2019. They still with a setup in 2023. The longest serving club manager in world football is one in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Stanley Aguma, head coach of Rivers United. What's there to add? A man of numerous titles, a man who's been there, who's seen all sorts. As a point, he also functioned as an assistant manager to the People's Elephant Aimba International Football Club. They've got the colourful support of the Rivers United fan club, who've journeyed all the way from the southern part of the country down to the southwest to cheer their team to a potential second title in the championship playoff. Amas Obasoge, goalkeeper for BENDEL Insurance, making his 22nd start this season. Sochima Victor, his 11th of the campaign. goal. There's nothing more difficult to take in hand or more perilous to conduct than facing a team well oiled and spread with quality as Rivers United. A win today keeps the Port Harcourt-based team in pole position to retain their title and the forever recognition of being strict stoppers. For BENDEL Insurance, this game is more than the records of years past. To preserve their unbeaten status and stay on the path of a first league title since 1979, they must play and play hard. Mike Mayaki joins me on commentary for what should be a brilliant game of football. Good afternoon to you, Mike.
Nice to be here, Emmanuel. I mean, we're onto the business end of this competition. After match day 3, this match day 4. So everybody could do the 3 points at stake. So I see insurance going all out, especially from this pitch.
Anthony Harwood, the man who's out here swinging and telling, set piece in. To find the presence of the captain of the side, Efe Nabulele. Oh, listening to your analysis pretty much, Mike, you spoke highly of BENDEL Insurance, but I'm curious about your take of the manager deciding to relegate his top scorer, Imadio Sarenko, for such a crucial game.
Yeah, when your main attacker has lost confidence, so to say, the basic thing for him to do is perhaps take a rest. Or should you still decide to feature him? All you need to tell him is just keep it simple and short. Do the basic passes. Don't try to do the impossible. But when all of that is not happening, you of course need to bench your player. Give him some time off, let him view from outside, and give him some instructions to come in as an impact player. Perhaps that might rejuvenate the player.
And there's every possibility before the 90 we'll get to see the brilliance of Imadio Sarenko, one of the top performers in the Nigerian Premier Football League 22-23 season. And likewise, this man with the football, goalkeeper Amos Obasege. 26 matches across all competitions, Insurance are unbeaten.
And that shows the resilience they have. They simply refuse to be beaten. And you wouldn't be surprised when you got the likes of Julius and Miloju and Efe Nabulele as your wing backs. These are no-nonsense defenders. They take no prisoners. And when it comes to the middle, you've got, Sonny Anyanwu alongside Benjamin Tanimu. These are Trojans. These are hard men. I choose to call them Gaddafi, as being very hard men.
And a challenge on the Rivers United player, Farouk Mohammed. The Ghanaian international started this professional football career with the Ghana-based club side, Big Face Out, just before he joined Elmina Sharks, one of the top teams. And the trip to Nigeria to play for the most successful team, Aimba International. There was always room for even better challenge up front. That came in the mode of Rivers United, but for now, some concerns for his fitness state, but he'll be fine.
One of the sore points so far in this competition, in my opinion, we've seen so much physical football. I would have been of the opinion that we allow the ball to do the movement and the players just to do the touches. It makes the ball a lot more beautiful. When you exert too much strength, injuries problem. Now, most of these teams have players, regular players. Sunshine, for example, have 5 regular players now. Today, we are not going to see Wangwa here. We are not seeing Imade here. So I think it should be less physical and more tactical.
Yeah, speaking of the latter, just gazed down the commentary booth and noticed he seated amidst football fans, asked the question, Huma, what's exactly wrong with you? And he whispered he picked up a knock in training. Hopefully he's fitting off for that final game against Aimba. That's going to be a cracking contest. That's the final match for the championship playoff. Also with the title decider. Well, it depends how this fixture turns out.
Talking about Wangwa, I did interview him some time back and asked him who was his favorite striker he played alongside as a twin-pronged attack. After looking forward and backward, I said, listen, Junior Lokosa is it. So when his team, Rivers United, did get to play against... When they got to play against Remo, which featured Lokosa, for me it was some drama exhibiting itself on the pitch. Soon after the game, I went to both of them. I said, Ima, remember when you told me about your favorite partner, striking partner? How do you feel playing against him today? He said, well, such is life. It's somewhat expected.
Mark Gibson, the man who almost benefited off that defensive mix-up between Benjamin Timino and Sunday. That's a very pissy player, Matt Gibson. Divine Owachuku. That's the only man who scored a goal in the BENDEL Insurance shirt at the Championship playoff.
For me, the most resourceful, the most inventive player that Insurance have. He takes most of the weight in the midfield. As you can see him trying to weave his way throughout the midfield, but he was practically hustled down, earning for his team a free kick there.
The big man himself, Farouk Mohammed. Here at the side of goalkeeper Sochima Victor. That is first call up to the Super Eagles in March for that Nations Cup qualifier against Guinea-Bissau. Early today, the Super Eagles manager made official the squad to take on a certain team, the qualifiers, and a few of the players in the Championship playoff got a call up. One of those, Divine Owachuku, gets the chance to also say once upon a time a player for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That's the highest. Quite audacious there from the big man himself, Zaidu Ayuba. Well, if you wear the number 10 shirt, you can oftentimes expect to conjure up magic from such difficult angles. Going to face this off the technical bench on the far left-hand side there. Sugar Ball Maestro, coach for Tayo Shaw. I mean, it takes a lot of self-awareness to, I don't think the word is demotion, but to decide to leave Ayimba as head coach to go to Rivers United to be an assistant manager.
Well, for some coaches, it has to do with being given the freedom to do what you want to do as a coach of a team. It didn't start today. Many coaches in Ayimba have always complained of some form of interference as coaches of Ayimba. When it comes to signing players, when it comes to fielding players, when it comes to exemplifying moves. A lot of coaches will want total independence. And perhaps as Rivers United, his views are very much respected. That's why he's found it to be. Remember at some point they said he was to leave Rivers United even.
Yeah.
But the young man has gone back, and we can see how far he has come with the team so far in the Super 6.
A bit of concern for goalkeeper Sochima Victor to free kick to Insurance. Captain Ife Nabulele. There to take, just a two-man wall. Ife. No threats for the Insurance defence. Julius Imiluju. That's composed play from Benjamin Tanimu. Oftentimes you classify that as beautiful nonsense. Define. Soje. Divine Owachuku. Even far-reaching for his standards.
While that was a little bit far from Divine, I would really blame him. So the shot is directly against Sochima Victor's face. It therefore means he should take a shot. You know, his views might be somewhat distorted by the sun. So I mean, if he gets a thorough straight shot at him, that might sort of give him some problems, in my opinion.
The mild collision there, but it's good to see the players upstanding. The man who felt the pain is Deputy Icheta, who's down on the top.
Well, mistiming of headers there.